River's Edge Ranch is a place of restoration. It is a God-inspired vision to help men get their lives together and to help them transition successfully back into society.
I was going through a lot of problems, before I came, and I just didn't know what to do. I was down to nothing. I was lost, basically, and I thought, well, I know a place I can go to, because I've heard of this place, heard of the River's Edge Ranch. So I made it up here, and man, it changed my life. I never really ever studied the Bible. When I went to church, before I came to the ranch, I would go to church every Sunday, but I would have to dust my Bible off, before I made it to church. That's how often I would actually pick up the Bible. And here we read every day, we have Bible studies every day. We learn from each other, and the Lord, He's just opened up my eyes to a lot of things, those words are just popping out of that book, and they're changing my heart, and I'm seeing things so much differently. And, I know I have a purpose and a drive, to move forward in my life. I've got my feet back on solid ground, and it's just been an amazing ride. I've been here for almost 9 months, and I'm not the same person I was when I got here. Thank you, Lord, and, I just learned how to be a better person, you're around a bunch of guys, and, you hear people talking and just a lot of uplifting things to say, and we just learn from each other, and, it's just, this place is amazing, and it has literally, put me on the right road, and I'm just thankful to God for that.
Our whole vision from the beginning was to create an environment of life, a life-giving ranch, where basically people could come out of their surroundings at home, or keep helping guys, keeping guys from going to prison, helping guys getting out of prison, or whatever it is, to put them in an environment of life. And so every project we do here, everything that we increase, is another aspect of life-giving environment for these guys to work in and to participate in, and to be able to invest their life into it, where they lay down their head on the pillow at night and they feel like, I've accomplished something today. My life matters. My life has purpose. A ranch guy's basic day is he's going to get up early in the morning and begin to tend with the animals. He'll be doing all sorts of jobs, humbling jobs. He'll learn how to humble himself. And at the same time, he'll be doing jobs that have great value in it, purpose. You feel like he accomplished something throughout that day. And then through Bible studies, and then just being able to go out and bless the community. We love to bless the community. We love to bless people. So we teach them not only how to receive, we teach them how to give. And the whole environment that we create for them here is just, everything is about life. It's just life-giving is the best way I could describe it. And so these men, after 3 months, they can't believe how much their life has changed. The success rate we have is just off the charts compared to other programs, because we know when they leave here, they've got a great foundation to build their marriage on, to build their family on, and the work ethics that they learn here, they take it into any job, in any kind of industry, and they become a model employee.
Basically, I was on a 3-year heroin run, and I lost my job. First thing was my job, and then my house, then my wife and family, and then last thing I went was my car. So I've been staying with my parents. They don't want me there anymore. So I got a card for Pastor Gary's name on it from a friend of mine, and called this place up and got the number over here to Big Al, and they said they'd take me in when everyone else didn't want me.
I've been here for like almost 7 months. Well, before I came here, I was just lost, man. A lot of hurt and pain. I was addicted to heroin for about 10 years, and I was actually in the hospital. I had a thing called endocarditis. It's an infection in the valve of your heart, and I was dying. And so when I came out of the hospital, I met up with my brother, and he had a card of Al's that I had given him. He gave it back to me, and I called, and I came up here.
But I did prison about 26 years, you know. Got into all the madness, the chaos, you know, the gangs, you know, the mafia. Got a brother named Kilroy, and he did 40 years, right? So doing all that, you know, I was doing my own thing out in the world and working, had an apartment, had a car, but it wasn't enough.
I come from a broken family where my father drank a lot of alcohol and beat my mother, you know, and I guess it just came down, and I started drinking a lot and just partying. Then I started partying with my sons. So, and then I went in and out of prison. They went to foster care. I got out of prison, made all kinds of promises and broke them every time for them. And where we came from was just a bunch of people that drank, and drugs is everywhere.
When I was out there in Rancho, it was just leading to like destruction. Everything was just falling apart. Like at first I considered it as just fun and game, partying, just going out. And then little by little, things just started closing in. All the doors just started shutting, and then I didn't have nowhere to turn. Just felt all by myself, just lonely.
I've been through Prop 36 3 times. That's as many times as the court will give it to you before they send you to prison. I've been through juvenile hall, jail, but nothing really made a difference in my life because no one really cared. It was a system, it was an institution, and right here, it just feels more personal, like someone cares, like it's real, like it's not just another program where they're trying to run you through, get paid, and get you out.
The current on-site leader of the River's Edge Ranch is Big Al Aceves. He used to be a notorious criminal and a warlord. He signed up for 2 terms in the Vietnam War so he could be paid to kill people. After returning home, he and some friends started a motorcycle club called the Mongols. The club grew to be one of the most feared clubs in the nation. Big Al performed hit operations, but during that time he also became addicted to heroin. After being kicked out on the streets, a Christian family took him in, and they led him to Christ. Big Al still had things to settle with the law, and eventually ended up in prison for planning a bomb operation. After getting out, he moved into a Christian men's home and kicked his drug addiction. He now bikes for Jesus and provides a powerful testimony of God's redemptive power in a parolee's life. He also provides outstanding leadership to others on the same journey that he once was.
Well, we're very thankful that Big Al is the director of our ranch, because Big Al's background was he was a leader, he was an enforcer in an outlaw motorcycle club, and he uses those qualities he used to use for the wrong team and for the enemy of our faith. Now he's changed that, and he's put in that those same things, those same qualities, the love of Christ. And so he runs this place with such love and compassion, but yet there's a firm hand of discipline that takes place too. And so now the whole family, what's great about it now is not only does Al care about how things are ran, but the guys who stay here, this is their home, this is their place. And so they all want that to people to conform to the discipline of this place. And so they understand that it creates a better life environment for each and every one of them, because it becomes a big family. They are one big family here.
With Al, a lot of us didn't have any discipline growing up, you know. A lot of us, our dads, either they didn't discipline us or they disciplined us at the wrong time. They showed us how to do wrong things, you know. And a lot of us, we really don't know how to love or how to be loved. We need someone to demonstrate it. We needed someone to demonstrate Christ's love to us. You know, we need someone who's been there, man. And Al's been there, you know.
Other places where I went, Christian places, non-Christian places, I was always the worst guy. Al, he's been places that I've never been, and he's a lot better than I am now. So it just shows what Christ can bring you from.
But Al, it's he would hate for me to say it, man, but that's the guy, man. You know, he loves us.
The people that come here are like leopards. And in the old days, leopards would walk around and they would say, unclean, unclean, and ring a bell. And people would part. They wouldn't let them get near them. But here, all these men know what a leopard is because their families didn't want them, society didn't want them. And when people would see them, whether they were high or sick or they smelled or they were dirty or their clothes were filthy, they wouldn't want nothing to do with them. But they come here and God cleans them up. They come here and God gives them respect. They come here and reunite them with their families. No more they're lepers, but now they're people that society welcomes once they leave this ranch.
You got a guy like Al here, man, and it's the message of Christ, you know? Christ came to save sinners. He came to save the brokenhearted.
When the ranch people come out here, we have 20 acres, and they could walk around and think. We have Bible studies constantly. 3 times a day. We have choir. We have prayer. We use everything we have out here. Not only the land itself, our fruit trees, our animals, that to bring a man back to being a man. And not only just a regular man, but a man of God.
Al has a lot to do with this ranch being the way it is because it just is the way he says it. He tells you, hey man, treat it like it's your house, or this is God's house, man, it's your house. I mean, treat it like it was your own.
Well, the reason everything has its place and everything is such an order around here is because we realize that a lot of our ranch hands that come to us, that they come from a life of chaos. And not only do we want to have them have a transformed heart, but we want to teach them some basic principles about what it is to live a life of excellence and how to keep things in order and be a good steward and be responsible with things. And so everything at this ranch has its place. Everything is in order. And so they learn this as their daily activities. And so when they get out, they begin to apply this to their life, and it begins to help them to become the citizens that God would intend for them to be.
Having the job gives the people a sense of purpose, like, hey, this is my job. I mean, this is what's been entrusted to me. I mean, so therefore, it helps them out a lot because when they go to sleep or you mean when they're by themselves, they said, hey, I did that right there. I mean, that's what I did. I accomplished that. I mean, it helps them out a lot because, hey, if they accomplish something like this, then hey, I could accomplish something else. Accomplish something else.
A lot of homes, they do a lot of good, but out here is peace, tranquility. When at night, if you're sick, you can come out in the patio. You could see the sunset. You could see the sunrise. You could see what God created, and you're standing here thinking, what did I do to deserve this?
Being around people, you mean, who kind of understand you and come from the same background you do. You mean, and it's no longer a, hey man, let's go do drugs or let's go drink a beer, but it's, hey man, I mean, this is how God's changing my life. You got brothers that come to you, I mean, and you guys tell each other your problems, and you guys go from there, man. You guys work on them together. So when you come up here, I mean, you feel like, hey man, I'm not alone. There's people that are here that do care about me. So I believe that's big in changing somebody's life, that, hey man, there's somebody that's just like me, or hey, there's somebody that's worse than me. My problem's not so bad. I mean, if that person can do it, then I can do it too. The
animals play a big part in what we do here is because we realize that these animals, as they tend to these animals, they take care of these animals, they have the sense of responsibility. These animals are depending on them for their care. And then also they begin to build these bonds with it, whether they're washing a horse or they're taking care of a cow or watching a little baby donkey be born or growing up these little chicks in their hands and watching them mature up. I mean, it just changes you as a person. If you've never been around that kind of environment and then you get put into that environment, best way I can explain it, just changes you. It just adds such value and purpose, and it kind of balances you out as a human being, just in life in general.
Having a bunch of animals, it brings joy and happiness to you. I mean, because you come into something like the horses. I mean, a lot of people come in and they're scared of them at first. They don't want to touch them. But as they get to know the horse personally, they get to know his character. Like, hey, it's just communication with them, with the horses and with the dogs. I mean, you see the dogs and they're just running around chasing chickens and stuff. And it brings joy to you, man. It brings joy. It feels like, hey, man, you see them and it just puts a smile on your face.
Since I've gotten here, I thought I knew Christ. I thought Christianity was one thing. I grew up in a so-called Christian home, but this place has really opened my eyes to what Christianity really is.
It's a good, solid foundation. It's a chance, like I said, it's a chance to change that generation of your family. You know, I got a grandson, and so I'm really trying to, you know, this is it. I'm 40 years old. It's like took me 40 years in the wilderness, so it's a blessing to be here.
Coming here to the ranch, it opened my eyes a lot. It gave me a lot of hope to keep on moving forward. That there is a better outcome than just it repeating itself just over and over. That there is a different way than just going down that same path that I was going down.
Well, it was very clear to us that when we began this ranch that we were not to charge anybody to come to this ranch. And so we make it available. We just want people who want to change their life, and we are excited to help these people, and we also want to provide an environment of quality. You can see, providing an environment of quality and not charging, there can be some conflict there, but we're just so excited that it is such a good investment, because when we take in one man, we're not investing in one man's life. We're investing in that marriage. We're investing in their kids, their grandkids. And we're talking about changing generations that'll be forever changed because if somebody sees the value in these men and begins to invest in them, and we see the value in them.
I've seen families come, wives bring husbands and say, I never want to see this guy again. And before you know it, God puts them back together. I see children come up here who hate their fathers, and they'll run around the ranch, and before you know it, they're walking with their father, looking at the animals, touching the animals. This place restores lives, not only the men, but their wives, their children. There's hope here. And I believe it's because God has his hand on this ranch.
Many of these men who are coming here, they're a product of their family environment. For generations, their family's been stuck in a certain lifestyle. And these men come into this ranch, and then all of a sudden that cycle is broken. They're set free from that. And then all of a sudden their marriage is different. Their kids are having a different experience, the grandkids. We're talking about changing generations of families by making it available, this ranch, to these men. And so when I think about a good investment, this ranch is just by far one of the most valuable things that I've ever had the opportunity or the pleasure of investing and committing my life to, because I get to see all the fruit of these transformed lives, these marriages, and these kids, and it's a great joy just to play a small part in this transformation of their lives.